Instagram, always winning. YouTube came on. What's up, guys, on YouTube? It just didn't even take that long today. I know I'm a little bit late, but the actual loading of the thing did not take that long tonight. So how's it going? How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are all having a fabulous, wonderful weekend. I feel really shadowy on Instagram and really not shadowy on YouTube. Usually Instagram has better lighting. Maybe it's my phone. Hang on. Oh, shoot. I hope I didn't just end it. Are we still there? Okay, I'm still here. Okay. Is that a little brighter? Or we good? We good? I feel like it's like weird shadows and like YouTube. I look all bright. But oh well. Anyways, hey. What is everybody? Where are y'all from? I think a bunch of people are like snowed in places and stuff. We are not. We did get like 7 snow flurries today, maybe about 7, maybe about 15, something like that. They were really nice. We could barely see them. You gotta look, if you're from the South, when you're looking for snow flurries, you look at something dark. You gotta look at like the trees or like a dark car or something to be on the lookout for the snow flurries, and saw some. So we were really excited about that. The kids were super duper excited. Gates has been asking me all week if it was going to snow, and that did her good. She was like, all right, I saw a few snow flurries. So we would not know what to do if we lived somewhere where we actually got a ton of snow. Yes, Ontario, Canada, Minnesota, Texas, 10 degrees somewhere. Lots of Texas. What y'all Texas people all doing? Hey, Tennessee, New England, New Orleans, West Virginia, Auburn, Alabama. Oh no, it's okay. I'll let you stay. Muscle Shoals, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Ohio, Delaware, Michigan, Kansas City. Where are y'all from over here on, shoot, I think my Instagram, I messed up the comments. Oh no, I've been missing all these comments. They stop. Connecticut, Maine, Tennessee, Indiana, Kentucky, Arizona. God, it's just so cool to get on here and see people from all over the daggum world. This is really, really just crazy. Okay. You gonna give me a hard name, Saskatchewan, Canada? I don't even know how to pronounce that, but sounds like a really cool place to live. I hope y'all aren't frozen to death up there. Rome, Georgia, Montana, East Texas, Tibble, Alabama. Now, I haven't even heard of that. Australia, California. This is so fun. I could sit here and do the whole live stream reading the names of states and places, but I'm not going to. But it's just so cool to see where everybody from. Rhode Island. Oh, yeah. I haven't heard that one or seen that one yet. Japan? No way. That's so cool. Puerto Rico. I bet it's not snowing there. Valley, Alabama. Kansas City is super mad right now. Angry, or everybody's crazy. Beham. What up? We're from Beham too. If y'all have no idea and you don't know who I am or where I'm from Alabama. Birmingham, Alabama, and we don't get snow very often. We did get a little snow in November. This is not what this live stream is about. I just talked about it because it's what's happening today. Related to the channel, obviously, we're going to talk about my last video that I just uploaded as this live stream goes on. But while everybody's getting on, I wanted to let you guys know that I did finish almost, I've got this much left, of Gaines's closet, KonMari, of her stuff. So I'm really, really excited about that. I have 2 things left to put up, and then I've got to put up. So the difference in doing my KonMari of my closet and then hers was all the stuff I wasn't keeping. I just threw it in a garbage bag and took it to donate. And for hers, I'm putting it in bins to save in case for some reason we have another child, but also for Cullen's sister is about to have a baby. So I'm saving all baby clothes and stuff for her. So yes, that got done this weekend. It was one of those things where I had just a couple of things left to do. And then it was dinner time and bedtime. And then, yeah, it did get done. So anyways, what we are here for is we are talking about the video that I uploaded on Thursday. If y'all missed that video, well, if you missed all of last week, all of our channels had all kinds of different stuff. Cullen started it out on the Don't Tell Mom podcast and talked about some struggles he's been facing and addiction that he's been dealing with, and basically, it has been an issue. I said this in my video, something that has been an issue for us and, personally in our relationship for a long time, but not to the extent that it is now. And I will say that I don't know. It's kind of hard to, it's one of those things. It's hard to fully explain if you're not in the situation. But there's some situations where people will be going about their merry, happy marriage, their life, whatever. And then suddenly something changes for somebody. And all of a sudden there is this like major issue. And, it's discovered that like a spouse or, I guess a spouse or a boyfriend, girlfriend, significant other, whatever, has an addiction problem or some type of issue. And it's like, where the heck did that come from? Didn't see it coming. That happens a lot. I think as far as Cullen talked about this some in the podcast, that he tends to have like kind of an addictive personality. Like in general, he tends to be somebody who easily gets like hooked on anything or like kind of, really into something and wants to really pursue whatever it is, whether it's something super healthy or whether it's something not super healthy. There's a lot of, if you're familiar with addiction at all, there's a lot of like typical behaviors and behavior patterns and all kinds of stuff that go with it. So it's not something that was just totally out of the blue and never expected. It's something that we've dealt with since the beginning of our relationship, really. But not to this extent and not to the level that it's gotten to where it's kind of affecting our marriage and our family. I said this on my video last week and I said it on my Instagram tonight. I am going to talk about the video and would love to answer y'all's questions. I don't really want to share details that I don't want to share. And I think that's very personal. And just because we're coming out and talking about this does not mean that the world deserves every single everything. There's some things that maybe Cullen doesn't want to share yet or at all. And then there's some things that maybe I don't want to share yet or at all, but also some things that if I were to talk about them or being asked to share about them can be really frustrating, almost kind of a setback sometimes, because it can send you into like this spiral of whatever. So I will say, if you would please keep your questions respectful. I'm not addressing questions about Cullen tonight necessarily. Obviously this situation involves him, but I'm here to talk about like my side of the whole situation and how it's affecting me, how it's affected our family and that kind of thing, which is basically what I talked about in my video on Thursday, was how this has been a huge part of what I've been going through over the past several months on my channel. If y'all have been around since September, when I kind of came back to my channel, I've had this channel for almost 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years now. But the beginning of the channel I was talking about mom stuff and baby stuff and all that. And then it kind of fell off the radar a little bit after Brooks was born. And then I'm getting myself back together and decided I wanted to talk about some changes I was going through in my life. A lot of those changes that I made were related to the issues that Cullen and I were dealing with as a couple. If y'all remember about a year ago, because it was January of last year, honestly, almost around the same time. It was during the 20s of January, between the 20th and 30th, somewhere in there. We made a video and talked about how we were dealing with some issues as a couple. Cullen was dealing with some depression. The addiction was a big part of it at that time. And when we made that video, kind of discussing what was happening, and how our relationship was and what we were doing about it, we had said in that video there were some things that we weren't ready to talk about yet, and that there were some things affecting our marriage that we, just were dealing with on our own and didn't really want to talk to the world about them yet. And people were super respectful for the most part and allowed us to go through that. And that's what we have been dealing with for the past year. So I think a lot of people kind of think that this may be something that just came up to me or that I just found out about, or that, we haven't been kind of dealing with for a while. So it is something that we've been dealing with for a while. But as far as the last week, actually, is the first week and a half, almost 2 weeks, is the first time that I think Cullen kind of really came to the realization and made that first step of saying, hey, I realize now that this is a problem. I realize how it's impacting my life. I realize what's going on, and that I need to get help and need to figure out what I need to do. So for us, that is where we are. And I think it was a huge step, and it's definitely, a different chapter and a different approach to the situation and to our marriage, because for the past year, really over a year, we actually started going to marriage counseling in October of 2000. Hello, what's this year? 19, 18. Okay, so 17. So it's been a little over a year that we did that. We found somebody, started going to counseling, and we made a little bit of progress, but we didn't make a ton of progress because, as with every situation that we've kind of dealt with over the past year, we didn't really talk about the main thing, like the elephant in the room of the addiction and how that impacted us. And so we would spend time in counseling talking about how I couldn't get past some things and how I was struggling with trust and trusting Cullen when he wanted to go out and run to the store, and then it would be 2 hours when he went to get a loaf of bread or something. And it was like, well, why can't you trust him? Like, what's going on? But Cullen wasn't ready to talk about it. So I wasn't going to sit there in a, couples counseling session and talk about that. That's his, situation. So anyways, that was definitely kind of a setback. And we didn't go to counseling for a while. And then we found somebody else that we were seeing for a while. And it's kind of like when you are, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example, because say you got a big pool of a swimming pool, and your swimming pool keeps losing water, and you're like, well, I just don't know. I guess I'll just keep adding water to the pool. And then you realize somebody sees that there's a leak in the pool, and they're like, well, the water's leaking out over here out of this leak. And it's like, well, but I mean, that's really a small leak. It's not that big of a deal. It'll be fine. Well, then the crack or the leak starts getting a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And somebody's like, hey, you really should probably address that leak because it's really causing some problems. Your pool I keep adding more water, and maybe I should add this kind of water. And then maybe I should I heard that there's this magic water that reproduces itself. I don't know, just making stuff up. And then all of a sudden it's hey, maybe we should address that crack in the pool because it's just leaking, and that's the problem. And so then you start the process of determining what you need to do to fix the crack. Do you need to drain the entire pool and put all the water out of the pool, and then tear out the foundation of the pool and rebuild that foundation, the whole foundation? Is it that maybe the crack just needs a little bit of extra cement, a little bit of something to fill it in to keep it from leaking? Or is it something you can leave the water in the pool, and maybe it's a problem from up underneath, and you can kind of go in, so if you kind of see my comparison, it's a situation that has been a problem, and we've been trying to address it from all these different angles. But the underlying problem that seems small in comparison is causing the whole thing not to function correctly, if that makes sense. And if you've been in a situation where addiction is an issue, you can definitely say that happens. It's really, really hard to understand if you haven't been in it. And I talked about this in my video on Thursday too. There's so many, so many little things that happen day in and day out that just it's it's not there's not a typical day. Like there's not a normal day. And there was a comment on my video that I commented back to. I wish I could remember the girl's name. I'm sorry, I don't remember. But she was like, she said that she and her, I think, ex-husband or ex-boyfriend had been in a similar situation, and they're no longer together now. But she said, I just remember wishing for a normal, like one normal day, or one day where addiction wasn't a part of our day. And reading that comment just brought tears to my eyes, because it's something that you don't realize. Like, y'all could watch our videos, anybody could be with us physically together, and it could be a fabulous day. And from the outside, it could seem like a wonderful day. And not that anybody's hiding anything or whatever. It's that you, as the couple, are trying your best to, when everybody is in a good mood, when everything's great and seems fabulous, you try to go about your day and have a normal, great day. But what you don't see is what's underneath the surface. And it's could be anything from the smallest comment that makes you go, oh, does that mean, wait, hang on, is there something going on right now? Is there something he's hiding from me today? Or is there something that I don't know about today? Am I questioning things too much? I've talked a lot on this channel about dealing with codependency issues, which, if you're not familiar with that, you're going to be like, what is that? What does that have to do with anything? And it's really kind of a difficult thing to explain in a really short few seconds. But there's a lot that I would find myself basically sabotaging and ruining my own day and my own mind because of my insecurities and my questions, and me trying to control or change things that I couldn't control or change. If there was something that, maybe he was doing or wasn't telling me about or whatever, I can't control that. I can't change it. I can change my reaction to it, and I can change my response. And a lot of times I would let it just get under my skin, and I would be able to go through the day acting like everything was fine, being happy. I can't lie to you and say that's not like happening in my head right now on every day, even though we're at a different place now than we were a year ago. A year ago, something like what's happened this past week, if you saw the vlog where Cullen talked about everything, we were not together for like 3 or 4 full days. And something like that would have completely thrown like my whole month off track. And I would have been really like down about it. It would have sent me into a spiral of like doubting myself and, being unable to enjoy what was going on that was positive, not working on the things I needed to work on. I'm really passionate about my channel right now and wanting to make the best of what I can to do what I want to do on my channel and make the content I want to make. And a year ago, I would have just been like, screw it. I'm just not going to even put up a video this week. I'm not going to do a live stream this week. And I'm in a much better place now where I'm able to say, if something happens, if something's going on, if there's something I don't know about, it's part of the process, and the truth will come out. I will find out what I need to know. Like, I'll know what I need to know when I need to know it. I mentioned this in my video from Thursday, but a big component of several of the different online support groups I've been a part of. I know it's a big part of recovery process as a person, a spouse of someone with an addiction. Also of like Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, which those programs are for spouses, family members, significant others of the person, is the 3 C's. And that's that I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, and I can't control it. I talked in my video Thursday about a lot about feeling the pressure of I'm the spouse. I'm the only one who really knows the depths of the situation. I have a responsibility. It's my responsibility to make sure that everything's okay. It's my responsibility to make sure that he's not doing what he's not supposed to do. It's my responsibility to remind him when he leaves, hey, make sure you're not doing XYZ. Well, it's not my responsibility. He, as a grown adult, I can't force him to make any decisions. Even my children who are not grown adults, I can't force them to make any decisions. I can like try to, but if you're a parent, you know, it just doesn't work. There's certain things you just cannot happen. So basically, I would have been a complete and total hot mess if I hadn't gone through the process I have over the past, definitely the past 4 months. What's this? September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, the past 4-5 months. And even longer than that, but basically just learning what I've learned. I see every day and in so many situations how God has been preparing not just my heart, but my experience, my situation, my like literally every little tiny detail of everything to prepare me for what's happening right now and for what may happen in the future. Regardless, I can't worry about what's a year from now going to be right now. As far as like, say for example, my channel, my goals for like my career and that kind of things. I think it's great and wonderful and fine to plan for goals for that. And that's what I'm focusing on right now. I can't. Cullen just took Brooks up to bed, and yeah, I know it's really late. Hang on, I'm off. Turn on the monitor. Y'all can watch me like go walk over here, so you don't like leave me. Hold on, I'll be right back. Hold on. Hold tight. I'm still coming right back. I didn't realize the monitors were still out. Hold on. Okay, I'm coming back. Okay, sorry about that. All right. I was like, what is that noise? Okay, so he took Brooks up to bed, and yeah, I saw the monitor on in the bedroom. Anyways, so I can't control the future. And I think for a while, not only did I feel like it was my responsibility, but I felt like, well, if I make sure and double check behind him on the things he tells me, or if I make sure and, you know, like ask him 7 times if everything's good or whatever, then it'll all be fine. No, it won't. It doesn't matter what I do or what I don't do. And the more I do, immature jokes, the more I do to like push myself on him and try to push what's right or what I think is right on him, the worse it's going to make the situation. So, yeah. Oh, the eclipse. Yeah. Somebody just said the eclipse. Sorry, squirrel. Totally off topic. But yeah, there is a lunar eclipse outside. Yeah. So that's going on. Let's see. Somebody said, taking this one day at a time and working on you is very important. It's very needed. You need to love yourself. It's not your responsibility. It's theirs. I too went to these programs. And yes, that's very true. And I think, if you were to go back and watch my videos that have been up since September, as you watch through those, you'll kind of see my process of realizing that. And it's where the sweatshirts and t-shirts and mugs and all the merch that I came out with back in December, the Trust Yourself merch came from, basically, is I had to learn to trust myself and my instincts and what I believed was right. Like I said, I can't change anybody else. I can't make them do anything. I can't make them not do anything. The only thing I can control is my response to it. And part of that is setting up boundaries and making sure that the boundaries I'm setting up are to protect myself. One thing I've learned about boundaries, oh, my dad just texted the eclipse has started. Somebody just said it on here too. One thing I have learned is that they're definitely not something that is in place to control somebody else or to change somebody else. They are to protect you or to protect your children or to protect your family, to protect your house, your your routine, your whatever it is. And that's something that I'm having to make sure that I understand for myself. So anyways, all that to say, I came on here to answer some questions, and that answers, I think, several of them, but I'm going to look through the ones from Instagram and answer some more. Is the merch still available and where? Yes, it is still available. Actually, I may need to relaunch it, but I will go relaunch it after this. But it's at teespring.com/stores/Katie on the flip side. And it's there. I'll post a link in my Instagram stories after this as well. So let's see. Questions. Has there been, let's see, Sorry. Okay. So on Instagram, it lets you let people ask questions, but then it only shows you like this much. And I'm like, could you tell people that they're being cut off? Because I can't see the rest of the questions. How are you doing? I'm sure best as can be expected. Yes. And kind of like what I said, I would be a much more hot mess right now if I hadn't gone through all I had, if I didn't have my faith to rely on, and if I hadn't finally been able to turn my trust over to knowing that God is going to be the one to handle this. I'm not God. I am not a higher power. I can take care of myself and my kids. So, okay, y'all, this question comes up like every single time. Has this put a hold on you wanting another baby? We don't want another baby right now. We have not wanted another baby. So no, it doesn't put a hold on it because we don't want another baby right now. We're pretty sure we're done having kids in general. If anybody ever sees anybody ask this question, feel free to answer for them, because I swear to Almighty Jesus that it is asked like a million times every time. How long have we been vlogging? Is almost 7.5 years. So let's see. How are the kids handling things? Is anything changing for ... And Instagram cut it off. But I guess that means, is anything changing for them? They're good. I mean, they don't know. I mean, kids know a lot more than we think they do, but we haven't specifically addressed anything with them, and we've tried to keep things as normal for them as possible. I think one of the main reasons that we both have come to an understanding and realization that things do need to change is because of them, because we don't want them to grow up in an environment with addiction. And we've seen a number of stories, from people in the comments about growing up in a household with addiction where it didn't end well or didn't go well. And those really hit home and are heartbreaking, and seeing kind of, the bad side of what can happen if you don't address it. When I decided that the only thing I could do was work on myself and work on getting myself to a better place, and that I was just as much, if not more, in need of recovery from all of this than Cullen was, I started looking into different options and online support groups, in-person support groups, whatever, and saw so many people say how, they either grew up in an alcoholic or addicted, whatever family, and things really started to change for the family when the spouse that didn't have the addiction problem started going to Nar-Anon, Al-Anon, whatever meetings, because you learn different ways to handle things. So instead of me getting upset and causing a big dramatic argument when I think there's something going on that I don't know about, I know better ways to handle it. I have different coping strategies, different coping mechanisms, and different ways that I can handle things. I saw somebody ask about what is the self-talk that you do every day these days, and how is that going, and what type of things do you say to yourself? Honestly, I try really hard to remember the 3 C's, the whole, I didn't cause it, I can't cure it, and I can't control it, because I think the very first one of those is so hard. If you've been a part of any type of relationship with addiction, you'll know that you definitely begin to feel like things are your fault. You begin to feel like if it weren't for you, or if you were doing something differently, if I was a better mom, if I was a better wife, if I looked better, if I was nicer, if I kept the house cleaner, if X, Y, Z, etc., forever and ever, amen, then this wouldn't be happening. And that is 100% not true. That's not, you can't cause somebody to use drugs. You can't cause somebody to drink. That's their decision. If they allow what you're doing to impact their decisions, then that's something that they need to work on. Now, granted, it did make me question myself and think about, like, are there things that as a mom I can be doing better? Are there things as a wife I can be doing better? And anybody always has room for self-improvement. And I don't think that it's a bad thing to start trying to get yourself healthier mentally, physically, whatever. But I only started to change when I realized that I wanted to change that stuff for myself. I wanted to get healthier because I wanted to feel better. I wanted to start having better routines and doing things differently with my kids because I wanted to be a better mom, not because I wanted Cullen to think I was a better mom, not because I wanted the people who watch me on YouTube to think I'm a better mom or a better wife, but because I wanted to. And the same goes for somebody with an addiction. Um, Cullen can't make a change because I want him to, because he wants me to be happy with him, because he wants, the kids to be happy with him. He has to do it because he wants to feel better, or it's not going to happen. Let's see. Oh, this is an interesting, good, different question. What's one of the biggest things that you love Cullen for? Did you or Cullen want to share it? I hope that I'm taking this question right. What is one of the biggest things that you love Cullen for? Like, one of the things that I love most about him is what I'm expecting that question to mean. And y'all, there's so many things. And I remember saying in our video that we made, gosh, what was it called? If y'all want to go back and watch it from last year, it's called Sometimes It's Too Late. And we sat down and we basically just talked and cried about our situation and what was going on, without being able to reveal the addiction part at that time. And I said to him at that time that I love him so much it's stupid. Like, and sometimes I still feel that way. I'm like, this is stupid. Like, there's so many things going on that make me just like angry, but I still love you, like, beyond the friggin' moon that's currently having a lunar eclipse. I can't even tell you all the things. He's an amazing dad. Like, amazing dad. That's when I married Cullen, I said to everybody, basically, I was like, pretty sure he's going to be a better dad than I'm going to be a mom. Like, he's great with kids. He's just such a wonderful person. He has a caring heart. He's always wanting to do things for other people, to make life better for other people. And that is one of the absolute worst and hardest parts about addiction. And I don't think I've said this in a video, but I've said it to some other people, that it, like, literally, it takes your soul and it leaves you as this shell of a person that you're not. And that has been the hardest part through all of this. Aside from any, like, personal pain of, like, different arguments or insults or whatever, the pain of, like, sitting and laying in bed next to somebody that you don't know. No, I don't mean I went and, like, slept with somebody that I didn't know. I mean, literally, and I said this to Cullen, I've spent like a year and a half missing him, because hasn't been Cullen. And, he said, we were having a talk about some different things and talking about how, he was like, well, you said you wanted me to just leave if this wasn't going to get better. And I was like, yeah, I do want that Cullen to leave. I want the original Cullen back. I want the person I married back. And, like, it's really a hard thing to to sit there and know that he's not the same person in when he's like doing all these things and when this stuff is going on. And y'all, I don't know. I don't want to, I think there are so many situations. Oh, sorry, Instagram. I'm still here. Y'all just fell. We good. We good. There are so many situations out there that are way worse than ours. I read some of the stories in the comments and I look at stories in groups that I'm in and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we think that it's terrible for us. And there's so many things, so many people that have it way, way, way worse. We tend to be the type of people that try to get a hold of something before it gets like way out of control. And y'all, it's not, any situation is bad and everything is relevant for yourself and what's hard for you. But it's just when something starts taking over your mind and your main focus is on something other than, the things that it always has been in your family and all that, you're not the same person. It's hard. So anyways, I love a lot of things about Cullen. And I'm looking forward to getting him back, basically. Okay, so let's see. Have you ever thought about putting Gaines in ballet? That's totally unrelated, but I'll answer that question because we've talked about it. And she actually kind of wants to, so we're thinking about it. She loves gymnastics though, and for right now, she's picking gymnastics over ballet. Let's see. What are you doing during this period of change and growth to bring yourself happiness? That is a great question. And one thing that, or actually a lot of things, sorry, I'm trying to clear this so I can still see the comments in that question. One thing that I'm doing is working on this channel and these videos because I'm really enjoying sharing with y'all. I'm really enjoying being able to create content and put out videos and things that I am really enjoying, that I feel really passionate about and that I want to share. But there are so many other things. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you'll know that I've been getting up at 5 a.m., which sounds like torture. But y'all, I can't tell you how much my anxiety has decreased. My struggle busness has decreased. My hot mess expressness has decreased. It's changed my life. That definitely makes me happy. I have been exercising, which makes me happy. I've basically been trying to do the big things like that and also the little things. The things that when people were like, oh, you need to make sure that you light a candle that smells like what you like and, wear the things that make you happy. We'll talk about Marie Kondo. Yeah, I'm trying to find all the things that spark joy and have them in my life. And to be honest, candles really make me happy. Things that smell good make me happy. And there have been so many days I will wake up and I will light my little Bath and Body Works candle and just smelling it, appreciating things. I've tried to really, really focus on gratitude for the things that are positive in my life. With the things that are going wrong, you got to be grateful for what is going right. And there are so many things going right. I think one reason that I started on this whole process of changing myself is realizing how many amazing, wonderful things were going on in my life that I was missing. Because I was too focused on Cullen and what he was doing. I was too focused on whether he was doing what was right or he wasn't doing what was right. And that's just not, it doesn't bring you joy. It doesn't bring you gratitude, and it does not make your day better. It just doesn't. And so being able to focus on gratitude, focus on goals for myself, working on the things that I can control, that I can change, that are my things. That's what equals happiness for me. And that is not to say I'm just going to focus on me and not worry about anything else. But there are times in your life where you don't have anything to give. And until you can refill your cup, you got to put some things on hold. And it's definitely helped me to focus on the gratitude, even the little things. I don't know if y'all listened to or have listened to some of Rachel Hollis's like morning live streams and all that, she did like the last 90 days challenge at the end of the year. And she has a journal where it's like just this little quick morning gratitude thing, basically 5 things of gratitude that you're grateful for that day. And then 10 things that you list as goals. Basically, she has it listed as dreams that I made happen, is like what she says in her thing. And you list 10 and you put things that are goals for you in like present tense. I'm sorry. Yeah, present tense, as if they've already happened. So like, say my goal was that I'm going to consistently do a live stream every Sunday night and not miss a week. Then I would write, I have a live stream on my channel every Sunday night and have never missed a week, or something like that. And you would write it as if it's happened. And you do this every day. And so you're writing your goals as if they've happened, and it puts you in a different mental place. It definitely addresses the gratitude. And literally some days my gratitude is like, I'm thankful for preschool so that my kids will have fun and be entertained today while I can process some things, work on some things, or whatever. Some days it's that I'm thankful for like my loving family that's been so supportive. And some days I'm like, I am thankful for this lamp on my desk because it's really pretty. So it gets deep, and some days it gets not so deep. Let's see. Holly Adams, thank you for the super chat. She said, I could seriously cry to witness God's work in you. It's been a blessing. Hugs. I'm so proud of you. Loves and prayers. God is good. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that so much. And it's been such a process, y'all. I can't even tell you the difference in this year versus last year. How do I deal with people asking you questions that you're not ready to answer or not ready to share? I don't answer them. And honestly, I just go on and tell y'all this, that we are at a place where, and I'm at a place where I'm like, negativity has no place right now in our lives, because there is enough of that mentally for us and has been for the past year. So as much as I like try to give people the benefit of the doubt, come at us with like a negative, like aggressive type comment, and I'm just going to have to like say bye to you, because we don't need that right now. I appreciate the fact that people can have opinions, but when you're like attacking and all that, yeah, we're just going to not talk about that. Favorite candle scent? Okay, I have several seasonal ones, but anything with what's it called? Teak wood, like mahogany teak wood. All those ones smell like manly, good cologne. They're great. Okay. Let's see. Somebody said it's so interesting that you seem to be in such a good place despite being in the hardest place. And yeah, that would not have happened if it weren't for the ways that God's been working in my life and revealing things to me, and the process I've been working through with the different groups I've been in, and it's just, if you're in a situation, I'm going to end on this. I've had several people comment on my video and be like, what do I do? This is what I think, my husband has been doing this, that, and the other. I'm trying to get him to stop and I can't. He's not being receptive. He doesn't want to get help. What do I do? Okay, this is my advice that made no sense to me a year ago, and I wouldn't have listened to myself, but y'all have to trust me. Work on yourself. Go to if you don't want to go to a meeting or go to a group, look online, Google support groups for spouses who have addiction to whatever, or just spouses with addictions, whatever it needs to be. Al-Anon is a great resource, and Nar-Anon's a great resource. There's Alateen for teenagers that are in families who have addiction going on. Feel like there's another one. Oh, there's an Adult Children of Alcoholics group, which is online and in person, for people who grew up in a family with addiction but now are adults and their parents are grown, they're out of the house, but you're still dealing with the effects of that. It's a process, and I can't really even explain it in this like short ending right now, but you got to work on yourself, and you've got to come to some realizations with yourself. And that is my main advice. The book Codependent No More is an amazing book and really opened my eyes to it. I actually started with Rachel Hollis's book Girl Wash Your Face, which is not necessarily about addiction at all, but kind of opened my eyes to some things that I was like, oh, I like actually have a say in my life and what goes on in it. One really amazing thing that I read that really changed my perspective was a story that a girl shared who was in a relationship. Her husband was dealing with addiction, and she said they were, she kept like finding herself in this same situations or these same arguments or these same like mental struggles. And they were driving home in the car one day and fighting and like yelling at each other. And she was just like said out loud, um, I can't believe this is my life right now. And then she said, all of a sudden, like a light bulb clicked, and she was like, you know what? It doesn't have to be. And it was like kind of a freeing thing of like, you know what? I have control over what I allow in my life and what I don't. Or, you can't change the person, but you can control what you allow in your life, and you can control what happens in your household and around your children and around yourself. And you have control over that. As much as you don't think you do, you can't control the person. If they want to continue to do what they're doing, they can do that somewhere else. Yeah. So you got to realize that you have to stand up for yourself. And when you find yourself in situations where you're going, I can't, this is too much. I can't do this anymore. Why does this keep happening? This particular thing's driving me crazy. This is not right. There's something that needs to be addressed there. So I have a billion things I could say about this, but I'm going to have to end it because this is getting so long. Oh my goodness gracious. But I really appreciate all of y'all's love and support. Y'all are just like so fabulous, so amazing, and have been so supportive. It means the world to me. I just can't even express to you how much it means. The amazing, fabulous, wonderful, nice comments and messages and everything is just like beyond my comprehension. Of course, there's going to be like a little bit of negative mentioned here and there and in and out, but there's been so little of it that it really makes me feel so like blessed and grateful for just being able to share this with you guys and have this platform. So thank you for letting me share. Thank you for listening, and thank you for being here through all of this. Y'all are the best. I love you. Hearts. Okay. All right. I'm going to end it, and I will see you guys on Thursday with the video. It's going to be Gaines's Marie Kondo closet. Hopefully that's the plan right now. So I'm going to end YouTube. Instagram, you always get a little extra special something at the end because I can't end two at the same time. So if you want to keep watching, go join me on Instagram, KatiePie07. See you there. Okay. I'll see you all on Thursday. Bye.